To Body Talk, and it is the end of the semester, ready for winter break, and we got some safety tips for you to keep you safe. Hey, glad you could stay with us. And this might be a little bit of a sobering show. Since I've been here at the college for 30 years, I've seen a lot, and we have our nurse here, Marlene Childers, who can give us the professional perspective.
Okay.
But there have been times when I've had classes and we go to breaks, whether spring break or winter break or summer, and I'll have somebody in class and they won't return. And I don't like seeing that. I've been to a lot of funerals or wakes or whatever for students, and it's not the most enjoyable thing. A lot of kids think that they are indestructible and they got everything in front of them, no worries, but you still have to be careful and safe. Like one of them, I remember, who was in my freshman success class. It was during, I think, Thanksgiving or Christmas. He was a basketball player and didn't return to class because he had a auto accident, ran off the road, hit a tree. I think there was several people in the car, but he was the only one that passed away. When I first got here, there was an interesting thing that happened. This has to do with thunder and lightning. This is not winter. But they were soccer players, and they were out on the field, and one of them got hit by lightning. Did not pass away. So he was
lucky.
I don't know that he walked away,
Oh,
but he did survive. And
amazing.
there probably are some people from the soccer team that are here now that remember that. This is in the late 80s, early 90s.
How long you been here?
Since 88,
Okay.
so
All
30
right,
years.
So you've seen a lot.
And there's memorials around campus, and I know most of those people, which is kind of interesting. See, one of...
There's been several
Yeah,
that
there
have
was...
been killed in car wrecks, correct?
Right. In the early 90s, there was a group of 4 boys that was going out the road here at a high rate of speed, left the highway, overturned, and killed all 4 of them.
Gosh.
And there was a marker put up there, you know, like a gravestone or headstone. And the sad part about it, somebody stole that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why you would do that, but that's really dumb and disrespectful. There was another girl, her name was Mary, that I think she had some respiratory problems. And she thought she was having some respiratory problems. And it wasn't that. And I think and I'm not sure if she passed out. Anyway, she aspirated, which does mean you throw up and you breathe it back in.
Yes.
And she never regained consciousness and died a day or 2 later. So her memorial is up by Fine Arts.
Well, did that happen on campus? Or?
That was in the apartments.
I see. Okay.
And her boyfriend was a friend of mine too, and it took him a lot of years to get over that.
To get over. I'm sure he had a lot of blame there too.
Yeah.
If he was with her at that time, that would be hard.
Right, yeah, he watched the whole thing. There was another girl named Misty who was riding in the back of a car who was going down 588, come around a turn, and there was a dead animal in the road, like a possum or whatever. The person driving swerved and lost control, went off the road, and it overturned, and she was the only one that died in that wreck. And there's a tree planted out in front of the library to memorialize her.
Did she have a seatbelt on?
I kind of doubt it, being in the back seat.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are some lessons to be learned. You know, don't be in the open during a thunderstorm.
Yeah. On a field.
Don't stand under trees during a thunderstorm. If there's something dead in the road, unless it's too big to run over,
Just run over
just
it.
go over it.
swerve.
And the same thing goes for deer or any other thing that runs out in the road. A lot of times you'll miss it maybe, but you'll lose control of the car
your
and
car.
run off the road and have a wreck, and it'll turn out a lot worse.
Worse if you hit the deer.
Right. You'll do more damage to your car.
But you know, we kind of are impulsive. I mean, like, my first impression is if I see a deer, then, you know, in the past I have swerved. I
Sure,
mean,
I've swerved it.
and, you know, I have missed a deer by doing that. But that's, like you said, that's never really a good scenario there, because first off, if you're on a 2-lane road, there may be another car coming, then you could have a head-on collision, or, you know, you lose control. So I've hit a few deer, and this time of year is, you know, when they're out.
Right. And then the hunters are scaring them out of the woods.
Yes, and so very cautious. And when we leave here at work at night, you know, a couple nights I didn't get out till 5:30, 5:45, and it's dark. And you've got to be alert. You just really got to watch.
Just look for those little dots of light that glint off their eyes, like little
yes.
jewels out there.
And doesn't the headlights on cars like blind them?
What I think it's a psychological thing. Deer have an instinct to run away from predators, which are wolves and other
Coyotes and
things that walk around.
man.
Right. Cars and things don't register as threats, so they don't really go, oh my God, here comes a car.
Right.
You know, it's just a thing. Things aren't, you know, like a tree, it's not going to hurt me.
I thought maybe the lights, I think I read somewhere where the lights kind of blind them though.
It's possible.
But, you know, they make those little things that you can put on your car.
All the whistles?
Yes, and so my mom has those on hers, and she swears by them. So that may be something I may look into. We were just talking about that the other night. Do you have those on your vehicle? Have you ever? I think I'll try it.
It's cheap, it wouldn't hurt, I
know,
guess.
right? And they just stick on your car, so I don't know.
Now, there was another time you know, it didn't hurt much except for the lower spoiler of my car. And I wish I had missed the little guy. He was a groundhog running across the road. And what happened was, say you're driving along, the animal comes along this way, and your natural instinct is to like swerve away from the thing that is coming. And so I just kind of tracked him and hit him. Where if I would have turned a little bit this way, he would have went by, and I would have went behind him.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you've only got a half a second.
And that's all you have, a split second.
Right.
Just split. I mean.
You have to practice these things or something to get.
Well, yeah, I hit a squirrel. I've never gotten over that because I broke his neck. Like I did the same thing you did. And if I just would have went the other way, because he ran right into my wheel and then broke his neck.
Right.
But, you know.
And there's been the
it
dogs
made me
and
nuts.
stuff. Yeah.
Just a joke.
I've hit several dogs and different things. And
Now that's traumatic.
yeah.
When you're a dog lover. Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, if you feel bad, go to the doctor, you know, and get it checked out.
Don't sit on it.
I think there was maybe an asthma issue, and she had pneumonia or some other kind of deal. But there's, you know, traffic accidents and There's been suicides on campus and off campus, different things. So go get help, mental help or medical help, and be careful on the roads. You know, there's some deer you just can't miss, but a lot of times it's just better to hold on and hit it rather than go swerving off the road somewhere.
I went shopping down Route 2 to Huntington Black Friday, and it was, I left about 9:30 at night and went, like I said, down Route 2, and there were just dead deer. Laying just every mile there was a deer. And I was, you know, I just took my time so that I would have time to stop, but a lot of times you can't even do that. They're just
two
right
of them I
there.
hit at a full run. They're just
goodness.
like coming this way, and
Yeah. So
you don't have any time.
you don't. They just come out from nowhere. So,
Luckily, I haven't killed one.
well,
They've
I have.
hit
I'm
and
fine.
glanced off.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yes. And with the snow and ice,
Oh, the other
up.
morning, it was not really cold, but there had been a little bit of moisture in the air, and in every bridge or every place on the road where there was a culvert, it was froze.
yes.
And so what you do there is you leave your gas at neutral, not accelerating and not decelerating, and just like glide across it.
Yeah, and
'Cause
not
if you're
braking.
accelerating, you'll lose control.
Yep.
And braking too. Just hold on and
Yeah,
keep it
just
straight.
Get your foot off the gas, let it go, and once you get past over that little bridge, then you can accelerate. But yes, bridges are always the first to freeze. If there's water underneath of them or any culvert,
Well,
like
just a
you
little
said.
bit of rain, freezing rain.
Right. Yep. So you want to be prepared when cold weather hits. So you should have some kind of little emergency kit in your car.
Well, that's one of the things that I shake my head at. You know, we were in Huntington, and there were college kids coming in, and there's girls with like little dresses coming in, and it's like 20 degrees. Like, where's your coat?
I know. They
You
don't
know,
wear
well, I just had to get in from the car. The car was warm, and then they don't wear a coat in the car. Well,
Yeah.
what happens if you get into an accident
Yeah.
and you're like stuck or injured? You're not going to be able to take off your seatbelt and get a coat. You're going to have to sit there for like 30,
knows?
40 minutes before
Yes.
the people come and get you out of the car.
And then by then, depending upon how cold it is, you could be, you know, at risk for hypothermia. I mean, and
And another thing I do too is I try to keep my phone secure in a place to where if you did have an accident, it's not going to fly around, and I'll
Right.
have access to it.
right.
You know,
So-
put it in like a jacket pocket or something.
your purse or something. But a lot of times they just have them out because they're probably driving. And, you know.
So try and keep your phone, you know, whether you're riding a motorcycle or a car or something, in a place that's not going to fly away whenever you get into an accident or you got to stop quick or whatever happens, because you will kick yourself hard. Like, well, shoot, my phone's gone.
My phone, yeah,
It's sort of like,
out the window.
you know, when you're riding a motorcycle, it's like, well, I've just got to go a little bit down the road, and you don't put on your gloves, your jacket, or you leave your helmet, or you strap things on it. If you would get into a wreck with, say, like your jacket or your helmet strapped to the bike, you feel like a real idiot. It's like, if you have it, wear
it.
all the time.
Yes, yes.
I'm a big proponent of all the gear all the time.
Well, and
And seat belts in cars.
absolutely, seat belts. Even if you're in the back seat, you should still have your seat belt on.
Yeah, there's some videos around where you can see a car tumbling, and there's a camera inside of it, and just, or even like a camera outside, and just see how far a person is thrown out a window. You don't think you can get out the window?
Oh yeah, you can.
Those
or
forces,
go through the windshield.
you will go through it.
Yeah, you sure
And you'll
will.
be thrown like 30 feet in the air and come down in traffic or something. This is pleasant conversation, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, we're just trying to make sure that you use some common sense about safety.
Right.
You know, these are issues that can potentially save your life. So I think it's pretty important, actually.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're in college, and
Well, they
you're indestructible.
pretty
I mean,
much.
I was when I was in
Yes,
the Army
yes.
and whatever.
Yes.
But you still have to take precautions. You're not a superhero.
No, none of us are, except Batman and our superheroes, our Marvel
Yeah.
superheroes. But they don't really exist in this world today, do they?
I see you have got clearing snow and ice,
Yes.
and I have seen that on campus or just out and about, where a person is in a hurry and all they do is clean a hole in the windscreen that they can look
Yeah.
through. Maybe not the front or the sides and the back, but just this little thing, and you're missing.
Yeah.
The
Your
passenger
the
side and
whole
everything.
Side of that windshield. So.
And I've known a person, a family member, and you know who you are, didn't clean the whole windshield and then made a tight turn out of the road, and
went up on the
there was a
curb.
pole and just sideswiped the whole car.
Oh my.
It's like, why didn't you see it? It's like, well, I didn't clean the whole windshield. Well,
Well,
you should have done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I clean every piece of glass on the car totally, and I'm ready to go.
And you want to, when you are clearing snow and ice, you want to make sure that you're dressed warmly to do so. You always need to pay attention to your feet. You know, when we're out and about, our feet get the coldest first. I mean,
Yeah, your extremities.
unless, you know, our hands aren't covered with gloves or something. But, you know, you want to, let's talk about shoveling snow here and what that does to your back if you know,
Well,
aren't
if it's
doing it
not just a
properly.
dusty snow where you can just take the broom, some of these snows are very wet and heavy,
Yes.
or icy.
And if you have heart problems, you know, you've got to be careful that you only lift, and back problems too. I mean, you don't, if you have heart trouble, you know, or out of shape, you probably should do some warm-up exercises is what they recommend before you go out and start shoveling snow. And take frequent breaks. You just don't shovel snow for, you know, 30 minutes. If you have a heart condition, you need to
Yeah, don't be a hero.
take,
Just
exactly.
you'll
Use
get through it. Just take your
common
time.
sense, yes. Or buy a snow blower.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Then you're out there doing
Yeah.
this, trying to start the thing for
yeah,
half an hour.
Yeah, that's true. So, you know, you got to
But there
really
are
be
shovels
careful.
that will, different types of shovels where you don't have to like pick it up. There's some that act like a snow plow.
Oh, okay.
My mom's
they-
got one. She's mid-70s, and she'll do the driveway as long as it's not
Right.
a lot.
A lot, yeah. A couple inches?
Yeah.
Define a lot, like
Yeah, more
Half a
than
feet,
yeah, a couple
half
inches.
a foot? Okay. So, and if you do have back problems, then of course, back or leg problems, you don't want to put a lot of snow on your shovel. Don't toss it over your shoulder, toss it to your side. So I think Chevy Chase in, you know, Christmas Vacation, he was shoveling snow and throwing it over his shoulder. Don't do that. And you should not drink or smoke while you are
But
shoveling
I feel warmer
snow.
when I have a shot of whiskey, right?
Well, avoid drinking alcohol or smoking when you shovel the snow.
Right.
'Cause-
That's a false feeling of security, that warmth that you get from alcohol.
Alcohol, yeah. You know, and use de-icers, salt rock, so forth, especially on sidewalks or stairs.
And
So,
check your tires before the season.
absolutely.
Make sure you've got enough tread.
And then we talked about, getting prepared if you're stranded in your car in the snow, to make sure you have a blanket in your car.
Maybe a first aid kit,
yes.
some snacks maybe,
Yes.
a little bit of water.
Just, maybe granola bars and bottled water. Real important, because you just don't know. You never know. I mean, remember
It
that
may not.
time?
It may not be you that uses it. You may come upon a wreck that where somebody needs it.
Correct. And you want to make sure that you have flashlight with extra batteries, and they mention a manual can opener here. I guess open a can if you need to. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, that's. You wouldn't think you'd have to spend that much time in your car.
But most importantly,
Something to like cut seat belts or break windows. That's always good.
that's a good thing. But also, most importantly, you want to dress in layers when it's real cold and you're going outside.
Yeah. Don't forget
And,
your head.
That's right.
For us people who are follically challenged, maybe.
Well, I'm getting that way too now. That happens as we get older. We start thinning out, don't we? But yeah, so dressing in layers is very important. And, just having proper gear going outside.
And shoes, not flip-flops.
Well, and that's what they
I
were
see a lot
talking
of
about
people
here.
walking across
Yes.
campus in flip-flops and bare
I
feet.
know. Yeah.
In the middle, in snow.
Now, I'm not big on wearing a hat, but I'm starting to think that I'm going to get into that.
Yeah.
Because when I walked out, I'm warm everywhere else, but here.
Especially if
And-
the wind's blowing. If
Yes.
it's not blowing, it's okay, but
Yeah.
wind's blowing, it makes it twice as cold.
It does. You definitely lose a lot of heat from
Mm-hmm.
your head. And babies do too. Babies, definitely lose a lot of heat from their head. So if you'll notice, when they're born, they're wrapped up in a blanket and they've always got a little baby hat on.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they lose body heat from their head.
Right.
And so during the first 24 hours, we always
Because they got the
put-
same problem I do.
Yeah, yeah. But so you do lose a lot of heat from your head. So anyway, and of course wear gloves.
And what I've said is dress your little ones like you do yourself.
That's right.
If you're wearing shorts and short sleeves, and they should. And
That's
if you're
right.
wearing a coat, you better put them in a coat.
Put them on. Yep.
But I've seen people that were putting heavy clothes on them in the middle of the summer. It's like, you don't need to do that.
No.
But definitely if it's cold. And then the latest safety thing that I've seen is they're telling you not to put a coat on your child when they're in a car seat, because the straps may come off.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I guess you got to warm up the car or something. I wouldn't want to do that personally.
No, I wouldn't. I'd make sure the car would be warmed up. Yeah. Because those little guys get cold quickly.
Yeah.
They don't have,
There's less
much,
to them.
Right. They don't have much body mass. So, you want to talk about keeping our home safe and warm?
Sure.
Make sure that you have smoke alarms. That's so important. And I think you can get smoke alarms free. Some
Through fire departments or something?
Yes, in some counties now. So check, but and fire alarms make excellent Christmas gifts. I mean, so please make sure that you've got your house filled with fire alarms.
And then some of the bigger things that cause fires is heaters plugged
Kerosene,
into electric
just like-
heaters into
surge protectors.
those
Yes.
or extension cords or
Yes.
things. And there was a trailer that I know of, didn't burn, but it came close to it. They plugged in like I don't know, maybe it was a space heater in every room, and the wiring in this old trailer was not sufficient enough to carry that current,
all
and the
that.
walls were getting hot.
My gosh.
You know, and then there's people that turn on their stove and open up the stove.
The
and-
oven.
Yeah, to get
heat
some.
with the oven.
That's not a good thing.
No, that is not good. Or they use the kerosene heaters. And so.
And you can't smell the carbon dioxide.
No, you can't.
And
so
you'll
that's
get
a
a
sign.
headache, you'll feel sick.
Yes.
If you start getting a headache or feel sick,
You need
don't
to-
don't take a nap.
No. Because you may not ever wake up.
Right, open the windows and ventilate.
Yes.
And that's another thing you can buy is a
Carbon monoxide
right detector.
Yes, and those make excellent Christmas gifts too.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you can never go wrong with smoke alarms or carbon monoxide.
Right. Especially if you've got a
detectors.
house like mine that has a garage that's attached. You know, I like a garage that's detached.
Well-
so that if there's gas spills or if you're running the car, it doesn't go into the house.
Or if your house catches on fire, it doesn't run into the garage and burn it, because that's what happens.
And then you keep a lot of chemicals in there too.
Yeah, yep. If you have a chimney, you need to make sure that it's inspected.
Yeah, sweep it
And-
every year
yes.
or two,
So,
depending on your.
you know, you've got to make sure that, yes, the chimney's cleaned out each burning season, and burn only untreated wood, and avoid burning paper or pine branches, which
Yeah,
can,
pine's not good because it
No.
has a lot of tar and stuff. in it.
yes. And so,
Got a minute left.
anyway, okay. Just make sure to prevent slips and falls, that you wear proper foot gear, that you're not out like in flip-flops with a, you know, rubber sole to where there's nothing, you're going to go down. I mean, walk slowly on icy surfaces.
Keep your face out of your
Mm-hmm.
phone when you're, you know.
Watch where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm bad about that. I tend to look straight ahead and don't look down. I've really bumped my calves all up because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, use common sense. Dress appropriately. Take small steps when you're walking. Walk slow. Don't run on icy, wet surfaces.
And be careful when you're sleigh riding. We had a guy
Yes.
here in the
Yeah.
village that broke his back
Yeah.
just coming off of it and hitting something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully you have picked up something
From this.
that will save you a lot of trouble
We're hoping.
or your life or someone else's, and have a nice holiday.
Safe
and,
holiday.
Right, and come back. We want to see you again.
Okay.
So thanks for watching.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye-bye.